Pyongyang, November 19th, KCNA. The US Biden administration is jittery about its DPRK policy on the verge of total bankruptcy. Occasioned by the APEC summit on November 15th, Biden chaired the three-party summit talks with the chief executives of Japan and the puppet Roque in Lima, Peru. At the talks, they agreed to establish a tripartite cooperation office against the DPRK, while Biden blew his own horn, touting it as a new era of tripartite cooperation. Japan and the puppet Roque shamelessly danced to his tune, terming the three-party cooperation not only beneficial to their national interests, but also indispensable for peace and prosperity in the region. They loudly said that the three-party cooperation office will serve as a durable foundation for leading stronger cooperation between the three nations. Timed to coincide with the confab of the chief executives of the three countries for securing the institutional and structural establishment of three-party cooperation, the three-party multi-domain exercises, Freedom Edge, were launched again, involving US super-large nuclear carrier George Washington as flagship and new-generation fighter jets mainly tasked with precision strikes on core facilities of the DPRK. Such regular anti-DPRK war rehearsals provoke serious concern. The master and its servants established new three-party cooperative relations 1 year ago and have busied themselves to put it into an institutional, regular and general basis since then. It is primarily aimed at perpetuating their anti-DPRK confrontational policy based on tripartite cooperation as their invariable national policy, by bequeathing it as legacy to their next regimes, and thus upsetting the balance of power in the Korean Peninsula and the region. What the world has witnessed since the start of the era of tripartite cooperation, talked big by the US-Japan, and the ROK is by no means peace and stability of the Korean Peninsula and the region. In actuality, the current US administration has put its policy of nuclear confrontation with the DPRK into practice and frantically staged various war exercises to invade the DPRK, calling for putting into operation the real-time missile information sharing system and intensifying the three-party joint military drills with its henchmen, along with the era of tripartite cooperation. The US, Japan and the ROK frequently brought nuclear strategic assets and even NATO forces to the Korean Peninsula and its vicinity to disturb the peace of the Asia-Pacific region and provoke regional countries' heightened surveillance, all of which have nothing to do with security and peace. In a joint statement, released at the end of the summit, the United States specified the DPRK and other independent countries in the region as targets of siege and stifling. This move produced the entity called the Tripartite Cooperation Office as an institutional foundation for expanding the US-led military bloc in the Asia-Pacific region. Such moves of the United States, Japan and the Republic of Korea for securing permanent three-party cooperation have sown the seed of discord and confrontation deeper into the Korean Peninsula and the Asia-Pacific region. This is a revelation of the scheme to seize political and military supremacy in the region by dint of the military bloc that has evolved into a nuclear alliance. But such unprecedented confrontational hysteria of the hostile states has brought such undesirable catastrophic results as the DPRK's possession of powerful sighting telescope and ICBMs targeting the United States at all times, and the establishment of a just strategic structure in Northeast Asia. In the final analysis, the tripartite cooperation era billed by the United States, Japan and the ROK as the greatest has turned into the era of tripartite ruin. Among those who met in Camp David last August allegedly to open up an era of completely new three-party cooperation, one has already been ousted from his premiership, and another one will soon leave the Oval Office, and the last one is on the verge of being impeached for being forsaken by the public. No wonder such miserable fates of the pioneers of the three-party cooperation illustrate that the three-party cooperation era has no future. Their tightening of ill-minded military cooperation will only bring the DPRK's strong and regular retaliatory actions.